Thank you, Celeste, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I see a couple new faces, and we'll dive right in with your questions. Catherine, state your name and where you're from.
Okay. Hi, Chairman. Thank you for taking our questions. Catherine Morehouse with Politico. I wanted to see if there's any update on the regional access and the regional access pipeline expansion. Any updates on possible plans to either appeal the court order that I know you had concerns about, or issue some sort of emergency certificate, like the Spire case? Just anything you're able to say on that front.
I am aware the court has issued us additional time to address this matter. We continue to stand by our order. I stand by the statements that we made last month as well, and look forward to responding to the court's invitation for FERC to weigh in. Thank you.
Maya Weber, S&P Global Commodity Insights. Good morning. Also a question related to that court decision. My understanding of the decision is that it did find fault with the way that FERC explained why it was unable to determine whether the climate impacts were significant. So I'm very curious how you dealt with that issue in these three gas project cases that were issued today. Did you come up with a new way to handle that issue? And I'll just tag on one more question. Does it seem that the Commission now has a consensus on a way forward on this issue, or are you still working through all of that?
Excellent question. The Commission always follows the orders and directives and precedent of the court. Here we've seen a major shift in the way the court is looking at issues, including the significance of greenhouse gas emissions. These orders take that into consideration. It's important to note that our orders today were unanimous. And so I do believe that we have a consensus moving forward, and we will continue to refine and modify our approach as we receive feedback from the court. But I'm very confident in the legal durability of the orders that we've issued today. Thank you.
Hi, George Wycamp, Commodity Insights. I wanted to ask about interconnection, especially following the conference last month. Is the Commission planning any additional rulemaking regarding interconnection reform? And do you see any nationwide or federal potential in the framework the Commission approved from Cal ISO earlier this month?
So as you know, we had a technical conference on interconnection, and then taking a step back, we had order number 2023. We continue to see compliance orders come in from that rule. We believe it's a great first step. It is not a silver bullet. I've said that before. And so there are opportunities for us to continue to address interconnection, to shrink the timelines that we see for projects that are in the queue. There are opportunities on automation. I like some of the testimony that we received regarding the use of AI as well to speed up the queue. We have to get more generation on our grid to address what we know is a material and significant increase in the forecasting that we've seen. Just yesterday, we had a reliability technical conference where we heard from experts, including the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, that we're already seeing shortfalls in some parts of the country in terms of the amount of generation that we need. That's why it's so critically important that the Commission is focused on transmission reform. That's order number 1920, as well as number 1977 as well. Thank you. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. Alexis Weiss with Bloomberg Law. I was just curious to get your thoughts on recent deals where Google and Amazon have basically invested in the development of small modular reactors. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that, and how those projects could impact grid reliability for the future.
Thank you for the question. I am very optimistic and quite excited to see the interest in nuclear generation around the country. I believe that there's great hope and optimism when it comes to small modular nuclear as well. We had every 2 years, we have a joint meeting with the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and we focused a lot in our last meeting. I think it was earlier this spring. We focused on this activity, this resurgence that we've seen in nuclear. I'm an all of the above person. I've always said that we have to have all the tools available to us on the table as we address the pressing needs of load and increasing demand. This is a good development. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, Chairman. Carlos Anchondo with ENE News. Texas LNG on Wednesday asked FERC for an expedited supplemental EIS and remand decision, and I was wondering if the Commission has a comment on that. And then I was also wondering if you could, talk to us about your biggest takeaways from the Electric Reliability Conference.
I'll take the last question first. Yesterday we had an extremely productive reliability conference. What's striking to me, and this we heard from some of the witnesses, of course, we have tremendous reliability concerns across the country, and we're addressing those every single month. We take significant action to address those concerns here at FERC. We've done everything from addressing supply chain risk. We've had rulemakings. We've had reliability standards addressing inverter-based resources and making sure that those resources are registered with NERC. And we've addressed extreme weather events. We've had after-action reports on extreme weather events like hurricanes, winter storms, etc. It's important to note the progress that we're making. It's important to note that it's not all bad stories. We have to be ever vigilant, however, because we know something is happening. And I'll just be it. I don't talk about climate change a lot from this podium. But I can tell you this, from what we've seen in the activity in the hurricanes, the devastating hurricanes that we've seen over the past few weeks that have left hundreds of millions of customers. I think up to 9 million customers were out at one time. Hundreds of lives have been lost. We have to take serious our obligation and responsibility to ensure the reliability and resilience of our bulk power system. That's my takeaway from the Reliability Technical Conference yesterday. With regard to, I think you asked about, what was your first question? I wrote it down, but then I lost it.
The Texas LNG, the request for an expedited.
Yes. So you may have noticed that we did issue a schedule, and that schedule pushes this out into late next year. To be clear, that schedule is a conservative estimate. These are under the new CEQ guidelines and the Builder Act, which requires FERC to announce, our timeline, our schedule. This is unusual. Usually we don't announce when we plan to act. And so again, this is a conservative estimate. As always, you all know, I look to streamline our processes as often as I can. As we go through this review, if there are opportunities for us to act sooner, we will look for those. Thank you.
Let's go to someone on the line. For those of you online, if you have a question, can you raise your hand, please? Okay, let's take Corey Paul with S&P Global.
Thank you. The appeal deadline is approaching for the DC Circuit ruling on the Rio Grande LNG and Texas LNG decision. Can you say if FERC will pursue an appeal and seek a stay pending the outcome of the appeal?
I can simply say, Corey, that we continue to discuss this issue among ourselves here at the Commission with my colleagues to continue to look at the best path forward. It's very weird looking at myself right here. Sorry about that. But we will continue to talk about that with my colleagues. I don't have any other update for you at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions online? Raise your hand. No questions online? Okay.
We thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you next month.
For those of you in the room, we're going to stay on for a staff briefing if you have questions.